We have these beautiful whole baby chicken and we are going to marinate it. It's brined chicken. We're going to marinate it with some butter chicken spice, tandoori spice, ginger, garlic, salt, lemon juice, and a little bit of oil. Keep it aside and come back. That's all done. I'm going to mix it really nicely and then I'm going to go in with some yogurt and tomato puree as well. I added lemon juice and vinegar. Both of them, tandoori spice, butter chicken spice, salt a little bit. Remember, chicken's been brined, and we're going to go in with some yogurt and tomato puree. Mix that well, keep it aside. The rice, we've got a few ingredients ready here. I've got some basmati rice that's washed and soaked. I've got some chicken stock that obviously I prepare and keep at home. I've got 2 spices that are ready here. Salt, some carrots that are finely julienned. You can grate them as well. Onions, coriander, green chilies, ginger garlic, raisins, almonds, and whole spices. I've got some cardamom here, cloves, black pepper, big cardamom, and bay leaf. Let's get started. We'll start by adding ghee in a pot. I'm using my skuman pot. You want to use any pot that's going to be safe in terms of your rice not sticking. Let's heat up the ghee a little bit and then we'll add our whole garam masala. Cinnamon, bay leaf, green cardamom, black cardamom, whole cloves, and whole pepper. Once the spices have flavored the ghee, we're going to go in with the onions and let that get translucent. Once onions are getting translucent, I'm just going to add my chicken stock into a pot and let that come to a normal, nice temperature. You don't want green chilies, just for flavor. And then we'll add some garam masala and magic spice here as well. In goes the washed and drained rice. And this tip is important because you want to make sure there's no water here. Now before we add our chicken stock, we're going to go in and season magic spice and a little bit of garam masala, salt to taste as well. Now if you used Krea's garam masala before, you will know that once you've used this, you will understand why we call this the Zafrani Garam masala, because it literally has 11 to 12 different spices that are roasted lightly till all the flavors and the aroma comes out, and then we blend it into this beautiful blend which is Zafrani. Right, let's move on to the important bit. The rice is sauteed. Now we're going to add our liquid. Now obviously we're using chicken stock here because that's got all the flavor that you want. Now in normal mandi, what they do is obviously they let the liquid draw out from the chicken or the meat, and that's the liquid that's used obviously to flavor and season the beautiful rice. We've got chicken stock here. Now I've got 3.5 cups of rice here, and the same cup that I've used to measure my rice is the same cup that this is the same measuring cup that I'm going to use to measure. Here we are. We've added our liquid, we've added the rice, all the flavors are in here. Now, I know there's different preferences when it comes to how people like their rice. We want our rice grains to be open, fluffy, light, not stodgy, not like a porridge, not clumpy. So this is how I've learned over the years and what works for me. If you want to have pulao like rice where the grains are going to be open, the rice is going to be fluffy, you're going to wait for this water to come to the boil, the stock to come to a boil. You're going to leave this to cook on high heat, and only when the water is all evaporated or the liquid is all evaporated and you see the rice sort of appearing to the top, okay, that's when you can visibly see the rice, that's when you drop the heat down, cover the lid, and leave the rice to cook. While the rice comes to a boil, we'll start by a little bit of ghee in a separate pan, and what we want to do is we want to just fry off these carrots, raisins, almonds. So we're just going to fry them lightly, and this will be used obviously for topping, so we just want to soften them up, fry them, and keep them aside. This is when you can see the stock has come to a boil. This rice is going to start cooking. And only when the water is sort of just leveled where you see the rice risen to the top and you can see the water is at the bottom, that's when we drop the heat, and that's when we cover it with the lid to cook. So see what I mean? The water, the rice has risen to the top, water is right down below. Frying nicely, time for the raisins to go in. And once the raisins swollen up really nicely and they've puffed up, you can keep this aside and just fry the carrots. Take the carrots aside, and then I want to fry just some onions that I'll use for garnishing. So that's our almonds and raisins done. I'm going to remove it using a slotted spoon and then just fry the carrots also till light and translucent in the same heat. Okay, so carrots are done. I'm going to remove this, keep it aside, and then in the same heat I'm just going to fry a little bit of onions just for garnish. Let's have a look at our rice. Rice is light and fluffy and done. I'm going to leave it to steam now. Rice is cooked also, it's open, it's fluffy, so I'm just going to lay a tawa at the bottom and leave this to steam slowly. So let me show you guys the rice. That's the rice. That's the texture of the rice I like and I prefer, and we love having at home. Open, fluffy grains of rice. That's what you're gonna get if you cook the rice according to the instruction that I show you guys. Maybe we're gonna cover it with foil, pop it in the oven, and let's see how long it takes us. About an hour 20 minutes or so. All right, so let's go in with our carrots. And I'm going to leave some aside, obviously, for when I dish out my rice, just for garnish. So just leaving some. This is still steaming, so I just want these flavors to come through into my rice. The fried onions. Also going to leave some of this aside to give it flavor and garnish when I dish out the rice. And a little sprinkling of garam masala, and we leave it to steam over the tawa. Been in the oven for a good hour 10 minutes. I'm going to just pour these juices back, the water back onto the chicken, and now at this stage we pop the grill on and we leave the chicken to get some color. I've also put on some charcoal. We're going to charcoal smoke it for that authentic flavor and taste, and when it comes out we are going to sprinkle it with lots of, well, not lots of, but generous sprinkling of chaat masala, and it's just going to be amazing. Alright, so that's our rice dished out. What we're going to do is add a little bit of ghee into this bowl here. So let's place the chicken over this rice. Right, let's open this up. The flavors, the longer you're going to smoke, the better they're going to be. The remaining almonds and carrots and raisins, we're going to use that to garnish. And that's our chaat masala. Just a generous sprinkling of that, and that on the hot chicken, the hot ghee, and the spice sticks to it. Really amazing. I'm not going to